Welcome back to the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. I'm very excited to welcome the sag-aftra actress with me. She just made her full-length debut on the Pen and Feet as Herodias. She's also a talented dancer who's made headlines for her social distancing videos and creating dance mixes on YouTube. So please help me welcome Adele Pomerenke.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, Adele. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
Probably starting very, very young. I started dancing when I was 3 years old. My grandmother was a dancer in New York in the 50s. She did the, typical triple threat. So she swooped in and picked me up real quick and kind of encouraged me in that direction. And I ended up really loving it. And so it just took off from there.
Awesome. So you also danced in several music videos such as Frankie Ballad's Cigarette, Tim McNary's Be With Me, and Bastian Bakers' Love on Fire. So how did these opportunities come about?
It really is about networking and who you know, and if you can show when you do finally get a job on set or in a project that you are easy to work with, you follow directions well, because then you end up getting offered other jobs. So every job, most of my music video jobs, I got from I worked with somebody on a set prior to, hey, I think you'd be good for this. And then it ended up me getting to do that other project, which is very flattering. It means they trusted me. They felt comfortable working with me at that original project. So most of those came from that. Yeah.
Awesome. So can you describe to my audience your story, how you transitioned from dancing to acting?
Yes. So I guess there's a lot of different ways I could describe how it happened and the inspiration. Mostly, I kind of got backed into a corner a bit. I got cast over the summer. Dancers kind of look for dance gigs on the side when you're not in a ballet company. You don't have a contract with your dance company because everybody takes a break in the summer for a few months. And so I was looking for some gigs, and I found somebody hiring dancers for a TV pilot, like a reality show pilot. And it looked like it was going to take off, and we were going to go on tour, and I was going to be a part of that. And within that process, the lady that created it, she had me mic'd up. So I learned what that was, and I spoke some lines, and then I did a little bit of singing on it. And as well, it was kind of like a musical theme. And I decided I was going to try and go on tour to do this because it was going to pay well, and it looked like it'd be a lot of fun, but it fell through. A lot of projects I learned on in the industry after being in it enough now that a lot of things don't work out. And so it didn't work out, and I was kind of devastated and heartbroken. So I was with a whole season without a contract because I chose not to go back to Nashville Ballet that fall. So I said, well, maybe I'll look into acting because that's kind of what this was. And so I tried to get an agent to do more gigs and music videos and modeling and stuff and see what would happen. And I ended up getting one. And then I got cast in my first short film, Hair of the Dog, where I played Cat. And I guess I'm good at it. And that's people, said, wow, you did such a good job in this character. And so I kind of took it as a sign to look into this more. And I just really, really enjoyed doing it. I never planned on it, but I'm glad it was a happy surprise, honestly.
Awesome. I'm so happy for you. In addition to that, you must have also overcome a lot of challenges throughout your career. So how did you overcome those obstacles?
A lot of challenges? Like what kind of challenges?
Were there any challenges? What have been some of the challenges that you faced throughout your career? As a dancer, as an actor, working in the industry, and how did you overcome those obstacles?
There's a lot of challenges, actually. I think you just keep moving. You just keep going. That was how I overcome most things. Sometimes you feel lost and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. And I would have to sit back and write a list of the things that I had already accomplished up to this point, and how old am I, and what have I accomplished at this point, and realizing that I've done more than I thought, and to just keep going forward while being aware of what you have already done, because it's so easy, because there's so many obstacles. There really are. There's not, so to overcome each one individually, you might have to do different things for different obstacles, but in general, it's just keep going, keep moving forward. Failure, I don't really believe in failure in the industry. I just think we have experiences, and they just take us different places. So yeah, I just had to just being mindful that because you don't make something or you didn't do well at something doesn't mean you didn't give it your best or it wasn't supposed to happen. And that's kind of how I overcame a lot of stuff. Just keep moving.
We all have to keep moving, because originally this podcast started a year ago. And what I did with that, it was like, I could have never imagined that I thought I would be doing a podcast. If you asked my 2011 self, I would be thinking about, you're doing TV, you're going to work in production, but then all of a sudden I started a blog, and then it took me to a podcast, and now here we are today.
Yep. Yeah, you just don't know. You have no idea. Stay open-minded. Don't say you have to do just one thing. This is what I'm going to do, because then you might miss out on something that might take you a little bit this way, more left or more right, or this way or that way, but it ends up making you happier and being more productive and successful for you. Yeah. It's so crazy.
It is. And I wanted to, can you please tell tell my audience about the Penitent Thief, because this is your first full-length debut. And
yeah.
And so what was your role? And then also, what is the film? And can you describe the film to my audience, please?
Yes. So my role is I play Herod's wife. I play Queen Herodias, and she is very, very evil. She's very bad. I always get the bad characters. I don't know. They're more fun, that's for sure. So the film is based on a book, actually, written by Don Willis, and it's an adaptation of the kind of the story of Christ and his, crucifixion. It's about the two thieves that died alongside him, and it's their story. It follows their stories, and it's a darker twist. It's a darker, more realistic, a little more heartbreaking storyline. I know the stories in the Bible can seem pretty intense, but there's always like this silver lining to them, or this happy-go-lucky feeling that faith-based films or faith-based themed things tend to bring with them. But this one definitely has some very realistic, like what would it really be like then? How painful would it really be? How hard would it be? How dark and scary would it actually be? So I got to work. It was my first, pretty important character. I'm not in a lot, but I'm enough that she's very important. And I got to work alongside Kevin Sorbo. He played my husband, Herod. He was amazing, very talented man. And then got to work directly delivering lines with James Russo. And he was really awesome to work with as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about it.
I'm glad you had that experience, because it sounds like Queen Herodias is like the forefront of like a lot of evil female roles, such as like Lady Macbeth, Regina, the evil queen from Snow White, and Maleficent. Unlike that role. Yes,
you're right. Yeah, that's kind of where my inspiration came from too. I love that you brought up from Once Upon a Time.
I'm a huge fan for myself.
I love that show. It's so good. The writing is just superb. So yeah, her character, but Regina had some nice qualities to her. Herodias in the Bible, I think there's one translation where she's just evil, she's just evil is the description of her. So there's not a lot of text to study and look her up and really get to know this character. So having to kind of create her based off of villains that you already know, like the evil queen in Snow White, definitely. Just proud that she's evil, doesn't see anything wrong with it. Yeah.
Awesome. And I can't wait to check that film out.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting. I'm going to watch it with my family. So I told them I'd wait, so it'd be a surprise. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. Alrighty. So Also, in addition to that, you also worked with Crip TV's Fight Night, and then more recently, you also portrayed Helena in My Chemical Romance short film, A Something. So what were some of your favorite parts working on those productions?
So I'm always a sucker for spooky, creepy, gore, and horror. I just will always do those projects if they're offered to me. They're just super fun. The Crip TV one was like my first gig moving to Los Angeles. Now I'd flown to LA for The Penitent Thief and a couple things, but since moving to LA, Crip TV was my first gig, which was really cool. I got that pretty quickly. I felt pretty good about that. I was lucky. My favorite thing about working on that was probably the creativity of like last minute, hey, we need this, and watching people just put together just the craziest things to make a scene work. It was really impressive. And walking around with a blindfold on. I played the character Estelle from Tomahawk, and she has a blindfold on. And then there's blood perfectly placed around it, so I couldn't move the blindfold for, continuity's sake. So people had to kind of guide me around on set, and I'm just hoping, I'm in the right spot. And then Helena, I wasn't a big My Chemical Romance fan, but my little sister was, and I remember her telling me, do you know what this means? And I'm like, I don't know what this means, but now I do. And I have a lot more respect for the My Chemical Romance fandom and those people. And I was so, they made me blush how many comments on YouTube of them being so happy with my recreation of her, and that I pulled her off well, and I pulled off Tracy's character, who was the original actress. I just felt so humbled and so thankful that they love that. And a lot of them still follow me today on my social media, and they're just the sweetest people. So that experience was really, really, really cool. And the director, Chris, his vision, he did such a good job putting that together. So I was lucky to get to do both of those projects. And they're right up my spooky, creepy alley, so.
Nice. Just to let you know, I am a jumping bean when it comes to Mr. with horror and gore. I jump immediately out of my skin.
That's fine. Though, what kind of stuff do you like, though?
I do love Once Upon a Time. I do love performance-based reality TV shows like America's Got Talent, The Voice. Yeah. Oh, Masked Singer. The Masked Singer is one of my favorites. So
I hear they're coming out with a Masked Dancer.
Yeah, it is, and Jake's Take is going to be covering it. So I'm very excited to cover it.
Maybe I can get on that.
Fingers crossed. I would love to see you as Masked Dancer. So speaking of dancing, I love your dance mix. So guys, just so you know, Adele has a fabulous YouTube channel that you guys got to check out. And on it, there are a couple of great videos, including dance mixes. I love dance mix too because it features Don't Stop Me Now. You really interpreted that song very well. And I hope Queen who was watching it is able to, someone who was for it, to Dr. Brian May and Roger Taylor.
Right, yeah.
And then more recently, your social distancing video that featured Billie Eilish and Everything I Wanted. It was a very haunting day. You really interpreted that haunting song. So can you please describe your creative process from inception to upload?
Sure. So the dance mix videos had been a baby of mine for a while. Through my career as a dancer, I just have books, just like notebooks and notebooks of choreography ideas for different songs. And it was always a dream of I really want to put choreography to this, or I want to create something in this. And I have this whole idea in my head. And then I started thinking about, once I got into film, I was like, I could just put these on film. That would be cool. And then I don't have to worry about trying to make a whole production with theater and all that, which I love live theater. But I felt like that was that would be more if I were to just do one, if I were to write a musical or something like that. And I just didn't feel called to do that. So the Dance Mix series is basically a tape the dancer gets hold of somehow. I'm hoping to kind of make an anthology video on where the tape came from. But every track is a different song, and it basically transports the dancer in their mind to a magical place where they see themselves dancing out this song. I'd like one day to hopefully sit back and just direct those and hire different dancers to do it. And then the social distancing was it's not attached to the dance mix, but I remember I was in quarantine and I went up to stay with my parents in Washington State, and I was just going crazy. We all were. There was nothing to do. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was pilot season and audition season, and nothing was happening. And so I kind of had this idea to make this video. I saw a lot of people struggling, especially I'm very big with mental health. I think we should all have a way to get access, easy, affordable access to mental health. During quarantine, so many people had a hard time, especially with mental illnesses, because the daily regimen of going out to talk to the same person you see, or you see the mailbox, the mailman every day. You say hi when you go to the mailbox, or you see your favorite waitress at your favorite diner every day. And that's what keeps these people healthy, is that day-to-day socializing and going out and doing the same things every day. It's a huge part of their healing process and just stability. And I was reading and saw some posts of people that decided that they couldn't handle life anymore because of that. I had lost a few friends actually this winter because of it. And, following the health protocols is important. But then I felt like there was a group of people that weren't getting any attention shown on them, light on them for it. So I made that video, and it came out on Suicide Prevention Month, I believe. And it was just an ode to those people that were struggling. And I just really felt called to let them know that they weren't alone. And that's what social distancing was. And I loved it. It was a lot of fun to do. Yeah.
You did a lot of good with that video, Adele. And on behalf of my audience, I want to say my thoughts and condolences to you.
Yeah, thank you. Of course. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to take off or not. And I got a guy commented on it that worked at a nursing home and said that he took out all of his patients and they danced to it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just made me feel so good. I hope it helps some people. I do. Thank you so much for that.
You're so welcome. So we got to move back to acting on a lighter note, because this has been a big year, because for every actor who wants to act as a profession, the highest thing you have to join is SAG-aftra, the Screen Actors Guild. And so what did it mean to you to join SAG-aftra this year?
When I got the eligibility and they sent me the paperwork to join, I took a really long nap. It was all the hard work for years and years, just, okay, you are supposed to be doing this. We are happy you're doing this. This is where I'm called. And I took a huge nap, to be honest. And it made me feel, it gave me a lot of sense of peace. Okay, because I wasn't sure, because I was still, do I just keep trying to act? And if it doesn't work, do I just go back to a ballet company? Am I able to go back to a ballet company? Kind of up in the air of what am I really supposed to be doing? And when you get into the Screen Actors Guild, it's basically, or a union for anything that's important to you in your profession. It basically solidifies that, yes, you are worth this. You are worthy of this. And it really, and it happened during 2020. I got to go work on a set that opened when LA was open just for those 2 weeks or so. We got to film. We followed such amazing safety protocols on set. It was really impressive. And then it closed back down, and that was just a day or 2 days, enough for me to get my eligibility and then have it. And then of all years, 2020, crazy, so crazy. I'm so thankful.
I agree that this year, even though it's been bleak, there have been so many bright spots. And I think that is a really good bright spot.
Yes, for a lot of people. It's like when you take the daily schedule away that you think that you have to get stuck in a pattern of doing. You take that away, you have time to sit with yourself and go, oh, maybe I should address some of these emotions and feelings and these, inspirations that I haven't gotten to. And then things opened up and changed in people's personal lives in different ways for the better.
Amen to that. So we got to start winding down our conversation. So what are some of your favorite social media channels? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and why do they stand out?
My favorite ones. I'm on Instagram a lot because I'm connected to everybody there. So I love my friends and family, and most of them are on there. So that's why I like Instagram a lot. And I just got on TikTok and made a video of me making macaroni, and that's all that's on there so far.
Well, at least here's the thing, at least you got started on TikTok. I haven't, and I'm still in the iffy phase of the situation.
It took me like 30 minutes to make one video because it was it's like a little mini production. It's like a social media site for like your own mini little productions. And I'm just like, that's a lot of energy. So I think I'm going to keep giving it a try. Maybe I'll get better at it. Probably anything you keep doing more of, you tend to get better at. But Instagram is probably my favorite. TikTok is, I don't know yet. I'm too new to create.
Jury's out. So the jury's still out.
Yes, Snapchat, because I'm a people watcher, and really I just use Snapchat to save a bunch of little random videos of people and silly things I see in public. And then I forget to share them with people. I usually just send them to my sister, but
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so if you have the opportunity to speak with either aspiring actors or dancers who want to take they're done being they want to enter it professionally, what advice would you share? I'm talking about the entertainment industry, so what advice would you share with them?
I think the best advice is to just don't try to be anybody else but yourself, because I promise you may think that you're a dime a dozen, but every single human being on this planet is absolutely their own person, and there is a place for you. I promise there is a place for you in it. It's good to try and find somebody that you think fits you similarly, and you can kind of look at their career and how did they get where they're going, and that can kind of help you follow that. And really, it's just be a nice and a good person. When you get a job, don't complain. Like, just be thankful for it, and try and learn something all the time. People notice that. People want to work with easy, down-to-earth, kind people with manners more than the pretty people you see online that can do 6 backflips. Trust me. So just be yourself and be nice and be thankful. The simple things.
Awesome. So where can my audience connect with you on the web and also connect with you on social media?
You can connect with me on Instagram. Like I said, you can attempt to connect with me on TikTok. Instagram's Adele Pomerenke, and TikTok is AMP Pomerenke, so AMP Pomerenke. And then Twitter at Adele Pomerenke, and then I have a Facebook page, the same, that's just Adele Pomerenke.
Awesome. So to download episodes of jakestake.com, guys, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take and then add in with Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Adele, I had 2020 was fabulous for me. We had a lot of guests from America's Got Talent alums, Big Brother legends were on, Survivor icons were here. We also had a New York Times bestselling author in the form of my friend Drew Manning, aka the personal trainer who started the Fit to Fat to Fit initiative. So 2020 was a great year, and I really hope 2021 will be a fabulous year. So to catch up the 2020 episodes, head to the Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker pages of the podcast. And also, I'm also on social media too. You just mentioned Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Once again, Jacob Elyachar, JACOB ELYACHAR. Hopefully TikTok will be for 2021, but we'll see how it goes. And also, if you want to read a lot more of my material, including more interviews, more articles, recaps from The Masked Singer, and also America's Got Talent, head to jakes-tape.com. Once again, jakes-tape.com. Adele, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. You have a lot on your plate, and I'm so happy that your things are going to look fine for you this year.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to watch or to listen to this. And if you're due, please give this a like and subscribe. And also, a 5-star review, please. Have a fantastic day, everybody. And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.